There he is. There he is. Come here, baby. Ooh, that's a start.
That's a good
there,
jump.
Scott. That's a start. Yeah, that's a start. I'm fishing Guntersville Lake in Alabama today with one of my great tournament friends, Scott Canterbury, one of the best tournament fishermen in America. And we're out here on a 100-degree summer day fishing shallow.
Fishing shallow instead
But it
of
works,
on the
doesn't it?
ledges.
It works, doesn't it?
Good fish.
Yeah. It's 100 degrees and the humidity's 210. That's what the humidity is, I'm telling you. That's a good start right there. This lake at Guntersville, well, I don't even need to tell anybody how good Guntersville is. One of the most famous bass fishing lakes in the country. And this fish has been caught before. Look at that. See that rip on his side? This is the reason Guntersville Lake is so good. This is the reason bass fishing is so good in America is catch and release. And even though that fish, it probably been caught more than one time. About to let it drift in there. This and that and eat my bug half in two. That's something?
He took both claws off of it.
I mean, it's stubby. He is Mr. Stubby. I just happen to have another one right here, a bad jammer. We might have to put these in the icebox, Scott. They're burning my hand. They're burning my hand. I tried to put them on. He was way back up in that stuff, wasn't he?
Way up in there.
Yeah, I mean, way up in there.
Pretty good one.
Sure was.
There's another one with him right there.
Really?
Yeah, right there.
Here, I'll catch him too. Yeah, I'll catch him too.
Broke my rod on that fish. Trying to boat flip him.
Don't that make you mad when you do something like that?
Yeah.
And yet you lift him in all the time.
Pretty good fish.
And bigger. That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
He was way back in the tall
Way
stuff,
back in
wasn't
the thick stuff.
he? Yeah.
I can't
guarantee
believe
he
that.
was. Come here,
Got
baby.
another one.
Another one. Ooh. Ooh. Turned him loose a little fast, didn't I?
A little quick.
Got him?
Yeah.
You got a fish? You just got grass?
No, I got a fish.
Oh,
I
he
got
was.
a fish. I don't know how big he is.
I'm gonna tell you, he was in the thick stuff.
There's not much to him, but I got a fish.
He was definitely in
You
there.
never know if you got an 8-pounder or 8 pounds of grass.
And here for sure, it could be an 8-pounder just as easy as it's a 2-pounder. That's a fact.
Yeah. That's what makes it exciting.
Oh yeah, when you feel that little tap down there, you have no idea what's going on. Up out of here, little guy. Come up out of here, little guy. Even a little one like that's kind of hard to get out of that grass sometime, you know it?
Yeah.
Whee! That hasn't been caught before too, Scott. You see what Scott and I are fishing here. Guntersville is one of the most fished lakes in the world. No doubt about it, you know. That fish could have got off pretty easy. You see that right there?
Right where you caught yours.
You got a bigger one. Yeah, buddy.
A little bit better.
That's good. But you see what we're fishing here, that this is solid milfoil is what it is. And it comes all the way to the surface. Earlier we caught some fish on an old road bed that was covered in milfoil, and we were fishing right on the edge of it. That's a nice fish right there. What we got right now is maybe 8 or 10 inches of water over the top of it. And we've got heavy slip sinkers. That's a 3/4 ounce, or it may be a full ounce, I don't know. And Scott's using an ounce. We've got a little Yum soft plastics on here. This is a Christie crawl. I think the first couple I caught on a bad jamming. I believe that's what Scott's using. We got them in the icebox. We put them in the icebox to cool them off. If you don't, they'll melt your hooks. They'll melt my Daiichi hook if we don't put them in the icebox. They burn your fingers when you try to put them on. Well, he hit it as soon as he hit the bottom, didn't he?
Never hit the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell that. You almost just, I mean, it never got close to the bottom, I don't think.
No, he hit it on the way down.
Threw it right in his mouth. I swear, we just come over that little high spot, and you know what? We just come over that. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think we just fished right through there.
Catching a lot of little ones in here.
There are, but you got a little honey hole there, though. Got a little honey hole found. Got you a little honey hole. We'll take the little ones.
Yeah.
As long as they bite, we don't care.
It's all fun.
Yep, there'll be a big one bite that thing before the day's over, for sure. Jimmy Houston Outdoors is filmed in front of a live studio audience. Scott and my moved what we call he calls the old swimming hole spot. I don't know why he calls it this, but get that Daiichi hook out of that fish's mouth. But this is the old swimming hole spot right here. I think this might be the same fish that I caught this morning. I kind of noticed
that one you caught this morning was bigger than that.
Yeah, it was. I just said that to make you say that.
I had to give you credit. It was a little bigger than that one for sure.
You know, the thing about these grass lines, you know, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of grass on these Tennessee River lakes, and the trick is that there's what we call sweet spots, and sometimes we know why it's a sweet spot. We can see things that's caused it to be a sweet spot on the bottom on our locators, and you see the contour of the bottom, or maybe there's some brush there, or maybe you have a little point of grass going out a little bit further. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just simply no different than anything else, but it holds fish better than any other spot. And amazingly, when we pulled up here at this spot, and this is actually an old roadbed going down through here, and Scott said the very best place is right in front of those big rocks over there.
Finally got one to bite. Maybe they'll bite a good bit now.
You get him started. Big is he?
I don't know. He's better than what we were catching.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is. Big swim bait bass out here on the middle of the, or a catfish.
It's a drum.
A big drum. Yeah, he's bigger than we've been catching. Go ahead and lift that one in.
You get me soaking wet.
Boy, this lake's got some big ones too. I caught them on crankbaits and stuff. Man, oh man, man. That's a dandy.
Not what we're after.
No.
There he is.
That football head jig there.
Yeah.
Look at the size of this guy.
Is it a spotted bass?
It's a spot, yep.
On Kentucky, on Guntersville.
Yep, it's a spot. I know some of those we're seeing right under the boat. That was just pretty much right under the boat. I think 3/4 ounce booyah football head. And that's a Kentucky bass right there. They've all got a little patch of teeth on their tongue, just like that. Just like the largemouth we caught earlier. This thing's been caught before. That's what they call here an Alabama spotted bass. Not a Kentucky bass, Alabama spotted bass.
There you go.
I threw it right there and he hit it before it ever hit the bottom.
Did he?
Yeah, I tightened up on it and he was swimming with it. Big fish?
Yeah.
Good fish. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All we had to do is get on the spot.
There's another one with him. Look at him. Look at him. 4 of them with him. Look at the big ones with him.
Let down, let down.
That's a big one with him.
Let him down, let him down, let him
Well,
down.
I ain't holding him.
Let me get this jig back there.
Pitch right there. There was a big one with him. Did you see him?
Yeah. I just thrown out there. I was so far out there, you know.
We need to put the boat right in there.
Yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, dogs.
Yeah, there was one pretty good one with him. Nothing wrong with this one.
Nothing wrong with that one right there.
That's
Yeah,
like
that's for
Guntersville
sure.
bass.
Nothing. Listen to that thunder. Thunder, yeah. That's what we're out here looking for. There is not a breath of wind. I promise you. I mean, not a breath. Well, I wonder if we get those go back in there where they belong. All out run around here by the boat.
I heard you. There's a big one right there too. That's what's good about ledge fishing on Lake Guntersville right there.
When you find them, they can be good ones. And
that's a big one there.
that is. That is. Is that on a white jig or swim bait?
Yeah, a white-haired jig. Look at the gut on that one.
A white-haired jig.
I tie those.
Why don't you tie one for me?
Look at that gut.
Oh my goodness.
That's a Guntersville bass right there.
That is right there, buddy. I guarantee you. You swimming that? Yeah, on the bottom.
Hopping it right off the bottom. Yeah. Just about. I'll show you.
Yeah, I think that head's helping.
Ain't much to him.
Of course, I've only made two. I've only made 2 throws with a slip sinker.
Pretty good one now.
Yeah, it's good. You're getting picky now.
No.
I don't want to do that.
Man,
that's a good chunk right
there. That thing hooks them.
Boy, they're eating it, aren't they?
They are eating it.
I mean,
good chunks. Lots of fun.
That's a pretty good one.
Pretty good fish.
That's a little better. He's not that big, but he's nice.
He's a nice one.
He felt bigger than that down there, I tell you.
See any with him?
Come here, baby doll. Look how pretty that fish is. He says, I'm not ready to be caught, Jimmy.
He's not.
So I'm enjoying it down here. All right, hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. Take a big breath. All right. I'm gonna tell you, this will just show you. I've always kind of been a guy that I have about 5 or 6 rods out, and unless I'm really in trouble not catching fish, I'll switch around to those 5 or 6 rods. But we caught fish here on a jig. We caught fish here on a I think I'm gonna retire. We caught fish on a jig, a white-haired jig. We caught fish on a football head jig. And did we ever catch one on swim bait here? Never catch one on this spot on the swim bait. We caught them on swim bait today, but not on this spot. And then we've had fish follow it up, and then all of a sudden we just go and we go and we go and we don't get any bites. And Scott puts a big old mighty worm on out there and throws that thing out there, big 10-inch worm. First 2 casts, nice fish. And doesn't take me long to look at a horse.
Trying a drop shot. Yep, there's one right there, Jimmy. Right over there, Jimmy. That's both of them been off to that side. Throw right there where Alton's at.
That another good one?
Yeah,
pretty good
right there. There'll be some more there. They'll bite that worm.
Oh, well, they seem like they're tuned in on the drop shot now.
Yeah, but we hadn't even fished that area.
Yeah, that's off where we hadn't been throwing. You're right. You got tired of winding them right-handed for a while. You decided to wind them in left-handed.
They're stout on that little
Well, I'll promise you that.
8-pound line.
I'll promise you are.
I'm not the best with a spinning rod anyhow.
I ain't never seen the fish except when he come up there and jumped a little bit. Now, I didn't really see him. I just said, that's pretty good. He's a good one.
About the same as the last one.
Oh,
there he is.
There's one on the big mighty worm there.
We got a double.
I got out there and got in your hole there, Scott.
We got a double. Let me see if my little worm bigger than the one on your little big worm.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Yes, sir. Nothing wrong with him. Guntersville.
I'm gonna let mine go. I know he's bigger than that. And look at.
You know yours bigger than this one.
I know he's bigger than that before you get him in the boat.
Yeah, before I ever get him in there, you know. I'm gonna go ahead and lift him in. They're about twins.
About twins, yeah.
They're about twins.
Good job.
One on a tiny worm, one on a mighty worm. God, he is hooked. Mercy, he's hooked.
Oh, man.
He had that worm coming out his gill plates, man. I'm telling you.
That's fun now.
Probably ought to drop our buoy back over the side, shouldn't we?
To this side, yeah.
Yeah, drop it back where we know where the boat ought to be. I think it's right over there is where we...
You may drop it behind the boat?
Yeah. Deep water fishing is some of the most exciting fishing you can do because when you find a bunch of fish, you're going to find perhaps a whole lot of them in one area. And there's 2 or 3 things to think about in trying to find these fish. One is you need a good topographical map. You can get a map, you buy a map and look at it, and you can color those in like we used to do back in what I call the dark ages of bass fishing when we didn't have these fancy electronics. Or you can simply buy electronics, use navionic chips in there. My Ray Marines all hold navionic chips, those little tiny chips, and I don't know how they get all of that information on there, but it's amazing. You have all of the contours. You can zoom in, zoom out on anything, and get those and learn how to use them. Go out on the lake and run around and look at contours. Look where you see things that make little points, where deep lines come together and maybe form a little gap or something that goes through. Think about as you're out fishing and you're out looking around at the hills and mountains, what would that look like if it had water on it? And then think about how that would look like on your Ray Marine unit that you have that might have water on it. And that's the way to begin to learn how to fish deep water. Once you do that, you need to simply get out there and do it. Now, I still carry marker buoys. It's kind of old-fashioned, but I carry marker buoys, and I'll put them on a brush pile, or I'll put them on a drop, or I'll put them on an edge. what I do mostly is put them on fish. You know, we can see fish with these locators very, very well. If there's no fish there, we don't fish. Some of the best holes that we have in a lake, our home lake, or a lake that we fished maybe many times over the years, we go in there, we run around on them, but we don't see any fish, we don't even throw a lure in there. So, but when I find fish, I put a buoy marker on it. I can be a half a mile, 5 miles from the bank, and once I've got that marker, then I know that if I've thrown right over here this direction from that marker and caught fish, I need to repeat that cast, just like you would going down the bank, and something you can visually see. Your locators, learn to use them.